let me set the tone because I know you great. I saw your little Twitter pictures and Instagrams of cigarettes and baby oil and all of that. So,
wait a minute.
120-108, Boston goes into Golden State, steals game one and home court advantage. And Steph Curry, who everybody's been watching, can he win a finals MVP and all that, comes out on fire. I said it on the show because we were on for the first quarter. He was looking like this was his game. This was the moment everyone was waiting for. But after the first quarter, he cooled off tremendously, was 5 for 16 in the last three quarters, scoreless in the last 6 minutes, and his team was outscored 20-5. Finishes with 34, 5, and 5. Big in the third quarter, but at the end of the game, when his team was fading, didn't get it done. And so somebody wants to pounce.
Nah, do I really have to pounce? I'm just calling it like it is. Facts, not feelings, Chris. Facts with a Z. I told you. How many times do we have to keep saying this about Steph Curry and his unclutchness and not doing it late in the games? And here's another one. The narrative. Where are all those people? KD must be up in flames.
We ain't talking about KD. We'll get to KD later. You know that. We'll get to KD later.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to tell you that this is no surprise to me. Chris, I'm not shocked. And he got off to a great start. And that was a game that the Warriors needed to win. Not because they can't win the series if they lose game one. Steph was on fire to start the game. You got to win that game. He makes 6 threes in the first quarter, sets a record, ties a record. Was he tied it? And
well, he had the highest scoring quarter since Michael Jordan 93. Yeah.
21 points, and you don't come away with a W in your own building with a 12-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and you lose by 12? And you guys can sit here all night and talk about, well, the Celtics will never shoot like that again. They made everything. Everything went in.
Who is that?
I don't know. That's the whiny
Who are
people.
You mimicking?
I know. I don't. Yeah, that's Draymond Green, who is a better podcaster than he is a ball player. 2 for 12.
Gosh.
All right.
Oh my God.
Draymond, I'm glad you're a part of the new media because you ain't a part of a championship team right now. I'll give you that. You better stick with podcasting. My God, what was that? He was awful last night. And Steph, a disappearing act. Where were you, Steph Curry? With all the shit. You know what? I wish shimmies counted as points, Chris, because they could have used some of those shimmy points at the end of the game. You can't go scoreless the last 6 minutes and be considered the greatest shooter of all time. My butt.
Oh, actually, you can.
No, you can't.
Because that's exactly what he's considered.
No, and this is the reason why, because we've seen this act over and over. Stop it, Steph. Stop with the meaningless baskets.
Meaningless?
Yes, in the beginning.
Really? That's meaningless.
Save some of those for the big moments when they needed a basket, when they needed to stop a 17-0 run. That's when you needed to put in a couple of those threes. And all I'm going to say is this.
All I'm going to say is
this.
After 7 minutes, I'm going to say
is
how
you
about
guys
let me end it with this? Go
ahead and keep propping Steph up. Keep making excuses. I heard even Colin today, all the haters are out and they're going to blame Steph, and Steph was the only one who showed up. He didn't show up at the end, and that's the problem. And my last thing is they wasted a golden opportunity with Jason Tatum going 3 for 17, and that you know he's going to play better than that. And that's the scary part is they won going away without their best player. And so Steph Curry hurt them by not showing up late in that game.
There's no doubt that over the last 3 quarters, I shouldn't even say that. In the second and really the fourth quarter, because he sat like the first 6 minutes of the second quarter. And I put some of that on Steve Kerr. This is the finals, baby. And I know, look, Steve Kerr is an all-time great coach, and I'm not just saying that because he made the top 15 list. He is. He's proven it. But I think when you got a guy on fire, you keep him going. You don't sit him 5-6 minutes in the second quarter. You're going to cool him off. And that's what happened. He was scoreless in the second quarter. But the third quarter, he delivered. He had 9 points as they were building that 15-point lead. And, Rob, I said it last night when we were watching in the first quarter. I said, this looks like the Steph game. This is his finals moment that everyone was waiting for. And I said what? But he's got to win. If they don't win the game and the series, this is going to fade away. And it did. It looked like it was going to be that because in the third quarter, not only did he have 9 points, he had some great moves. The behind-the-back dribble to shed Jaylen Brown. The Iceman Gervin finger roll in traffic. The up and under scoop shot under Derek White. But I will admit, he didn't get it done in the fourth quarter. Now, I blame Steph, but there were other circumstances. He got to get it done no matter what. However, he didn't get much help from anybody. Wiggins showed up, and that was it. Clay didn't play well. Jordan Poole didn't play well. Draymond Green didn't play well. And the spacing on the floor when you had Iguodala and Draymond out there, it wasn't great. And in the fourth quarter, their player movement ceased for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it wasn't what it had been in the first 3 quarters. Golden State is fine. They got whatever they wanted in the first 3 quarters. They averaged 30-plus points per quarter against the league's best defense. So they'll be fine if they stick to the game plan, if they play the right people and rotations. Iguodala, God bless him. I don't know that he needs to be in there in the fourth quarter when he hadn't played in months. So Steph didn't get it done. I give him it was a good game. It wasn't a great game. You can't say it. I don't care how many points he had in the first quarter or total. You can't say it was a great game, but it was a good game. And other than Wiggins, nobody else on their team had a good game.
Chris.
So you can say about Tatum, but guess what? Al Horford's not going to go hit 6 threes either.
No, but
that was a career high. Derek White's not going to hit 5.
But they got the game that they needed to get when their big guy didn't play well. That's what I'm saying. On the road, that's a tremendous win, and it changes a lot of stuff because you won't need that. If you get a great game out of Jason Tatum, and they somehow win game 2, which I think
Boston?
Yeah, Boston.
If they win game 2, they're very much in control.
Yeah, they're going to be in a good situation. And the other thing, too, Chris, is Klay Thompson isn't the same player. Not even offensively, but
he's averaging 20 for the playoffs.
But I'm saying
nobody would say he's the same. I think even he would admit he's not quite the same. Last night, look, he had some looks. He missed some mid-range jumpers, some of them contested. But yeah, I mean, look, he's gonna have to play better. Draymond, we know he's not a scorer, but 2 for 12, my goodness. All right, Jordan Poole's gonna have to give him something. It was Steph and Wiggins. And that was it. And like I said, watching through the first 3 quarters, Rob, Draymond Green said they dominated 41, 42 minutes. That's an over-exaggeration.
Well,
but they had
what a shock. The new media exaggerating.
Quarters. Right. But they did have control through 3 quarters. Even when they were down at the end of the first quarter. Rob, this is why some people don't like Golden State. They have a tendency to get cute and cocky. And Steph does lead that. And I like the shimmying, but it can come back to bite you.
Yep.
And I think I don't know if to me, maybe I'm reading into it. It looked to me like just mentally they kind of relaxed. They thinking, hey, we're in control. They were getting open looks. Driving lanes were open for Steph. Rob, the first quarter, Steph, I mean, yeah, we give him credit, but he was wide open.
But, Chris, here's the issue.
On a lot of those threes.
But here's the thing. Despite Steph's historic first quarter and them getting their way, they didn't lead at the half. Like that, Boston could have been buried with Tatum not playing well. That's when I looked at the game. And Rob G he knows I said this to him. They're in this game. And they shouldn't be.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, but they shouldn't have been, given what Steph did to start the game, and somehow they still led it to half. I thought that was incredible without their best player playing his best game. And here we are with Boston on the lead, in the lead, 1-0. The series isn't over. We know that, but Boston is right where they need to be. And same thing, Smart's going to play better defensively as well after they make some adjustments. I like Boston in game 2 a lot.
I tell you, Robin, we've talked about the three-point shot and just the over-reliance on it and how it can be negative. Last night, though, you saw the flip side of the three-point shot.
If you're hot, you can make up.
No game's over. Like, I was there when I think LeBron had 21 in the first quarter against Boston in 2010, game 3, if I'm not mistaken. We remember Jordan, going off with the 35 first half points against Portland in the finals. Those games were over when they did that. Like you said, last night's game was far from over. Even if they did have a big lead after the first quarter, it don't matter. With the three-point shot, anything is possible. We saw a team have a 15-point lead and lose by, 12, but fall down by 15 at one point. Like, that is the good thing about the three-point shot, is that no game is over. And so we saw, we did get that last night. Steph Curry, how much blame does he deserve for last night's L?
All right, let's kick it off, Chris, with Matthew in Chicago. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, Rob Parker, Chris Broussard, big fan. Listen to you guys every day. How y'all doing?
Doing great, Matthew.
Man.
Thank you.
We are great.
Yeah, I got to say, Steph Curry's got to get 50%. I mean, you first ballot Hall of Famer, going 21 in the first, and then you end up with 13, 12 points overall. You got to get a good share of the blame. You got to be the leader of the boat, try to lift up the team, get the spirit going. And look at Boston. Boston, everybody did really well. Jason Tatum, slumped, but he'll pick it up. And then the other 50% of Golden State's got to go to Steve Kerr and the crew. I mean, Andrew Wiggins did his due, but what about Draymond, Poole, Otto Porter, old man Andre Iguodala? I mean, they got to be better.
Porter was all right, but it's to your point. You talked about Tatum. Tatum struggled. Boston's best player struggled, and the other guys picked it up, and that's why they won. The Golden State's best player wasn't there in the fourth quarter, and nobody picked it up. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Not erasing Steph's blame, though, but still, somebody else got to help him out.
Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate you in Chicago. Thank you, buddy. How about Jim in South Florida? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Jim?
How you doing, guys?
Good,
Love
man.
your
How are
show.
you?
Listen all the
Thank
time, man. You have the best talk radio show, and I listen to a lot of talk radio.
Wow.
About the Steph thing, I think that, you can't really blame Steph because, when he was hot and then they sat him, I mean, they should have capitalized. They should have capitalized them, and they should have stunned him. He's
Try
a
to
part of
bury
the
him.
whole. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to hang up and listen.
Now, look, that's what I memt with Kerr, Rob, early. I don't know. I get it. You think, let me get him a little break, but I think he had him out 6 minutes. Go for the jugular. And I get it. No game's over.
See,
they could have been up 12.
You just
right.
said
They
it,
could have been
right.
up 12, but keep him in to try to keep him hot. I mean, you know what I mean? If a guy sits 6 minutes and he's on fire, don't you think that's going to cool him off?
Yeah, but you look at it this way. You don't want to burn him out and then not have him late in the game. So I get what you're saying. And I don't think Steve Kerr thought the game was over. You
No,
know what I
'cause,
mean?
yeah, you
that's
got to
just no
manage
way.
it a little differently now.
Right.
'Cause a 15-point halftime lead doesn't really mean a ton.
It doesn't mean the game is over, Chris. This is in the 90s, and I'm
Right.
with you.
Right.
So that's a mistake. All right, Mark in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What up, Mark?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Hey,
What's
what's
up,
going
man?
on, guys? Hey, real quick to that point you just made, Chris, I was going to bring up, I would have left him in. We talked
Yeah.
about the three-point shooter. This is the one guy that could have buried them by 25 in the first quarter. He could have. This is the one dude. If he's hot, I'm leaving him in and say, let's see if we can just choke them out game one. Because
Yeah,
they
but
had
if
an
you do
opportunity.
it,
I mean, look, they were. Here's what I tend to agree with you,
I don't agree with
but
that.
they were down. He sat the first 5 minutes of the quarter, and when he came in, they were up 6. So it didn't.
I hear what you're
it didn't hurt him on the scoreboard.
Right.
Maybe it cooled him off. That's
And-
maybe.
and-
it cooled him off.
I agree. I understand what you're saying, Rob. Normally I would say no, but this is the one dude, when he's that hot, you let him do it. This
Yeah,
is the
but
one guy you
Yeah,
do.
I don't think
But-
it
but
would have
here-
ended the game. It wouldn't have ended the game, but maybe it keeps him hot. That's
But
the
here,
point.
Mark, here's the problem with it, is that if you do that and then you still don't get the big lead and Steph fades in the second half, people will say Steve Kerr played him too many minutes in the first half. So it's a tough spot. Let's go to one more, Chris Squeeze in Jordan in Idaho. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, thank you guys so much for taking my call. You guys are the best.
Thank you,
brother.
Appreciate that, Jordan.
I appreciate the positive words from Chris today after that tough loss last night. I'm a Warriors fan, but I don't think we should put the blame on Steph because I feel like he's been playing like he has all year. He hasn't played to his potential that he's shown us in the past. He's had 2, 3 great quarters, putting up 25 points a game. He's not doing what he used to do. So I feel like he was pretty consistent with what he's done. I feel like Steve Kerr, with those rotations in the fourth quarter with Iguodala is really what prevented us from stopping that momentum.
A lot of people was down on Steve Kerr today.
Well, and I don't look. Iguodala has obviously been a key part of this run that they've had. But Rob, weren't you? I'm not. I was surprised he was in the game so early, and that he was in the game so late. I'm not saying don't play him, but I was surprised for a guy that sat so many months to be back playing, critical minutes and as soon as he's back.
Yeah, you remember we saw that, and I'm not saying it's the same exact thing. Do you remember when the Magic screwed up their rotation and everything,
yeah,
Chris,
good
with
point.
Jameer Nelson?
Right.
Jameer
Ray
Nelson
Froston had been in there. Yep.
He was a starter, and Jameer Nelson had missed 4 months, Chris, and they tried to squeeze him in to play in the finals. And
Yep.
I'm like, why would you do that? You got to the
Yeah.
finals without him, and I'm not saying he couldn't play some minutes, but they forced the issue, and I think it hurt them.
Yeah, no, I hear you.